Hi everyone, welcome. FPLMattDay here, and it's Game Week 26 live deadline stream. Tonight's stream, I'm going to be answering your questions that come up within the comments. So if you're watching on Twitch or Twitter or YouTube, be sure to come into the comments and ask any questions ahead of what is a blank game week this week. What I'll do though shortly is share screen onto my Twitter page and go through all the questions that have been asked so far this week. But before I do, if you can please give this video a like if you are watching, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and get your comments or questions in for this game week. And if I don't answer them straight away, it's just because I'm sharing the screen and going through the comments on Twitter first, and then I'll bring your questions up as well. We are going, I think we're a couple of hours from deadline now, actually. We're still about 2 hours from deadline. So a lot of decisions still to be made. Not sure if we'll get any early team news tonight either. But like I mentioned, we'll share screen straight away. So let's do that now. And as you can see here, it's the FPL blank game week, your questions answered thread. And we had a few good questions on here this week. So first couple that have come through, let's just zoom in a bit here. PSB has asked the first one. So let's have a read. So he's asked a couple. He must have asked one just before this. So he's gone, one last question. I'm on a game week 26 wild card and certainly going to have Son in my team. I'll have 3 Spurs players by game week 29. Who should be my ideal Spurs 3 by 29? Currently leaning towards Son, Richarlison, and Porro or Udogie. I think definitely see how obviously the results and the form look over the next couple of game weeks. Game week 27, Spurs play against Crystal Palace. Then they're away to Villa in game week 28. And then 29's that Fulham away game. But if I had to pick a 3 now, I'd definitely be looking at probably one of Porro or Udogie. Still edge towards Pedro Porro if you can, when he's flying and he's fit. And then I'll be looking at James Maddison and Son, or potentially Richarlison and Maddison. You could even go for, actually, you know what? Now I'm thinking about it, I'd even just go for that game week. I'd triple up with Son, Richarlison, and Maddison. And I don't think you'll miss out too much having at least one of those Spurs attackers, mate. So that is what I would go with. Actually, I think obviously having a defender gives you the balance. But in game week 29, or it's going to be a blank game week anyway, I'll probably go for all 3 of those attacking assets as well, pending their fitness at the time. But yeah, good question. It's nice to see some Spurs players being considered. I'll bring up questions as well as I go, so be sure to get comments in, questions in, like the stream, and subscribe if you're new. And if you're watching in from Twitter right now, I know we've got quite a few people coming in from Twitter. Head into the YouTube as well at FPLMattDay and ask your questions in here. So Jonathan Spence brought Højlund in on Thursday, only to see the news. So Højlund is injured, muscle strain of some sort, I think 2 to 3 weeks out. Really unfortunate, mate. Sorry to hear. That's just bad luck. Really bad luck. Actually had him penned in as one of the best picks for last week, for this week. And I'm sure he would have scored again this weekend as well. So, yeah, that's just real unfortunate, mate. So, yeah, not good. Let's go back onto the questions. And if you want to be involved in these questions that get asked every week, just head to X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it these days. Give me a follow at FPLMattDay, and I try to do this thread every single week. So another one from PSB. Which combination would you prefer? Gabriel, Saliba, and Saka, or Gabriel, Saka, and Ødegaard? Obviously, Arsenal players really favoured at the moment. They played this game week. Got Sheffield United in game week 27 as well. Having a look at that, I think Gabriel's probably a must-have, as is Saka. I probably would just about favour towards that defensive double up with Arsenal. They're pretty steady at the back. I think the Sheffield United game is a really good opportunity to potentially get a double clean sheet. Even this week against Newcastle, you never know, could be a tight 1-0, 2-0 type of affair. So for me, I'd go with the 2 defenders. Arsenal good when it comes to finding clean sheets in their games as well. So I'd probably edge towards that. Love the idea of Saka and Erdegaard. Obviously, Saka now looks like he is the penalty taker. But having both, I just think there's too many other midfielders we're going to need to consider in the coming game weeks that I would probably only have one of those. But good question again from PSB. And I think he's even asked a third question. So great to see you, PSB. So much support from him on the channel. So yeah, thanks for all the questions, mate. So I'm just going to quickly move the mic and zoom in on this question. So he's asked me what my take is on Hwang versus Neto. Yeah, I like both. Obviously, you would have seen in my content this week. I think Hwang is a great move at home to Sheffield United. I think Neto is a great move at home to Sheffield United. But my take on it is I think Neto from now until the end of the season is the better pick long term. I think he's just going to deliver consistent returns, whether it's an assist 1 week, an assist the following week, and then maybe a goal and an assist another week. I'm just think you're going to see those more consistent accumulative returns from Neto. Hwang on the other side will get you those big hauls, I think, on occasions, especially with him being on pens. So I think if you're doing the 1 week punt, if you're looking at wildcarding at a later date or you're on the free hit this week, Hwang's actually the better 1 week punt, I think, because I just think there's an opportunity for him to be far more explosive with his goals and his points. But if you're doing it over the course of from now to the end of the season, I think Neto is going to give you those more consistent week to week returns. So that's how I see it with both of them. And I think they're both good picks for this weekend. If you can get both in or at least one of them, I think you'll find some returns out of them. So great questions from PSB. Really appreciate it. Christian B, hope you're doing well, mate. I think you're at archery, so you might not get around to watching this until a bit later on, and might be past deadline by then. But he has asked, what is the blank game week 29 I'm hearing about? Because the calendar shows all 10 matches on. Okay, so what's happening in blank game week 29 is there is a bunch of FA Cup games on this week. So the teams that do not qualify and do not go through to the next round, if they happen to play a team on that weekend, game week 29, that's also not in the FA Cup, then they will be involved in the game week. Obviously, if there's a team that stays in the FA Cup and they play a team that's also in the FA Cup, or they stay in the FA Cup and there's a team that's obviously not in the FA Cup, as long as one of the teams is still in the FA Cup for that game week 29 fixture, then that will be a blank game for that game week. So I'll just give you a quick rundown of the FA Cup games that we do have coming in. So let's just go through those now. So these are going to be played this week. So we've got Bournemouth versus Leicester. So if Bournemouth go through, they will blank. Blackburn, Newcastle. If Newcastle go through, they will blank. Luton, Man City. Potential blank for one of those teams. Chelsea will blank if they lose to, if they beat Leeds. Forest versus Man United. So one of those teams will blank. Wolves versus Brighton. So one of those teams will blank. And Liverpool, Southampton. So if Liverpool beat Southampton, then Liverpool will blank in that game week. So having a look at these fixtures, there's an upside because one of Luton or Man City will go through. You'd expect it to be Man City, which means if you've got one or two Luton players for double game week 28, then they'll come in handy in game week 29. Again, though, it does depend on who their fixture was supposed to be in game week 29. So there's just so many things to it. So Luton, as an example, play Forest in that game week. So then if Forest lose to Manchester United in the FA Cup and Luton lose to City, then that game will stay on. Say Wolves versus Brighton. If Wolves lose that game, Brighton go through. Wolves play Bournemouth in that game week. So then Leicester would have to knock Bournemouth out of the FA Cup. So there's so many different things that can happen in that blank game week that it really is just a wait and see for now. So yeah, there's definitely going to be blanks in that game week. Great question though from Christian. FPL Liverbird, another great account. He's really been supporting a lot of my content lately, so I really appreciate that, mate. He has 11 playing but one is Digne. Is it worth a hit to bring in Tony for an injured Cunha and then bench Digne? I've had a few people say to me, this week, blank game week, and by them saying that, make the transfer or the -4, you're only losing 2 points. So effectively, it's not actually that bad if you take a hit this game week, similar to obviously in a double game week. And I think for Tony, there's actually a pretty strong chance. I'd say he's got like a 70 or 80% chance of scoring against West Ham. So I actually would take that hit, mate, if that was me and my team. FPL Ambrose, hope you're good, mate. It's great to see you in the comments. Let me know how you are, mate. It was obviously awesome to see you back in August. It feels like a long time now at the football fest. Miss all your content, mate. So I've not been on the comments on TikTok as much lately. I'm not sure if you're starting to post again, mate. But yeah, hopefully we get to see you back soon, mate. Great to see you in the YouTube comments. No more questions on the Your Questions Answered. We'll quickly check. That looks to be it. No more come in. We'll go to my notifications because I did have a question. I think on another. Someone has actually asked any news on Dan Burn. I think he means Dan Burn. I'm just going to reply. Not heard anything, so I'll maybe not put it in caps. I've not heard anything about Dan Burn. His injury news. But I did have a question in the comments somewhere on my notifications. So I'll try and find it. It was from Kong. Here he is, fellow Spurs fan. He did ask me a question. I think he posted his wild card team or his free hit team for me to rate. Go back in the notifications. I do remember him asking me a question. You know what? The question he did ask me, I think I ended up replying to it in a comment anyway, so not to worry. I've got this one here from Christian B. Again, game week 26. Honestly, no idea, but this is his team. Pinnock for Regulon, Richarlison for He-Chan, Neto captain. This is a great team for this game week. Obviously, hopefully Ferguson starts the year for Brighton. You never know what they're going to do. But you've got your two Wolves boys in there, Neto and He-Chan. You've got Foden, Tony, Haaland. Pretty much potentially a full starting team. Your defense is probably a little bit off because they're all playing away from home. But you've got a good midfield and a pretty strong attack. So, yeah, I do like that team, mate. So, all the best for this game week. And look, we've done all of the questions answered now. If you've got any more, get them in the comments. Give the video a like if you haven't done already. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you're watching from Twitter or Twitch, head into the YouTube and ask a question. I'll stay on here for a couple of more minutes. Normally with the deadline streams, I obviously go through the fixtures and my score predictions. But I won't be going into too much detail tonight. It's just here to answer questions and obviously go through those Twitter questions. It's not going to be as full on at deadline stream tonight because where I am in the world it's starting to get late now at night, and deadline is going to be about 12:30 at midnight. Ambrose, good to hear you're well, mate. Am I tempted to go to the fest? We'll do a rip round. Mate, I would like to go again. Look, obviously the last one, it was great to meet yourself and a lot of the TikTok boys. I think the last one worked out well because it coincided with my trip back to England and the start of the season, and it was just such good timing that I got to go. Obviously, it was a little bit of a shame we didn't get to watch the opening game, but it looks like they got a new venue this year, so I think it will be a bit better and stuff. So look, I was a little bit tempted. But yeah, if you can do a whip round, mate, for the flight, then I would definitely come. But yeah, otherwise, I think with the cost of flights and getting over there at the moment, it's so tough, mate. I try to sort of go every couple of years now where I can and get back and watch some games. But yeah, probably not this time, mate. But yeah, if you can do a whip round, a TikTok whip round. Carl Finn, differential captain picks. I've got a couple. I'll quickly just pull up a thread that I did, and I'll read a couple. He Chan's definitely one for Wolves. Let's check out his current ownership as well. I still think it's below 10%. It was below 10% when I posted about him. So Neto, 7.1%, definitely a differential captain. He Chan is now 8.9%. So yeah, big differential captain as well. I think Foden, obviously his ownership's a lot higher, but if you're confident he gets a start, I think there's a potential return in him. He's got a good record against Bournemouth as well. I don't mind Ivan Toney away at West Ham as well. I think he's a good differential captain option. And obviously Ollie Watkins, he's really highly owned anyway, but if you're going against Haaland, then Ollie Watkins. So Ollie Watkins, you've got the two Wolves players, He-Chan and Neto, potentially Phil Foden, and also Ivan Toney. For me, I think they're all pretty good differential captains. I would say Saka, but I think quite a few people are on him and Haaland anyway, so it doesn't really feel like it's differential to me. Yeah, we'll do a couple more minutes, so we'll see if any more watchers or questions come in. Q, so Quentin, who normally comes on the stream, actually messaged me saying he'll tune in for the stream, so I'll just let him know on the stream now. I don't think he'll jump on tonight. I'll probably get him on next week's stream if he fancies it, as this was only just a quick one to go through the questions. But from the watchers that are here now, we've got a couple from YouTube, we've got a couple from Twitter, we've got some from Twitch. So please ask your Game Week 26 questions. I might just pull up the fixtures in the meantime anyway. Let's pull them up until we get some questions that come in. We'll pull up this week's fixtures. Or I'll tell you what, I did do a team selection video on my team for this game week, which a lot of you probably already watched anyway. But I might as well share screen and show you my team this week. You can let me know what you think in the comments. Ambrose has gone with Watkins. I think the home fixture is doing it for me. Mate, that's a really good choice. I was having a look at Forest form, and I think they've won one game in 5, and they're letting in goals most weeks. So, yeah, mate, Watkins, you know what it's like. He can have those game weeks like last week, or those other home games like the one against Brighton where he come out with like 20 points or whatever. Like he's good at doing that, Watkins. So, yeah, I really like that, mate. That's a great shout. We'll share a screen. We'll go through my team for this week. So, Areola's in goal. 1.8 expected points against Brentford. And then if you compare it down here, 1.8 points for Dubravka. So I think Areola edges it having the home match. Then at the back, I've got to hope that Taylor gets the start for Burnley. He did play about half an hour last week at home to Arsenal. He's got 0 expected points this week. Matt Cash hopefully gets another start. I know Concer's on the way back, but Villa have still got injuries. It's against his old club. If I can just get one of those old school Matt Cash hauls out of nowhere, it would be unbelievable, but I can't see it. Even if he come off the bench and got a point, I'd probably take that right now. He is just lingered around my team now for months. I just can't get rid of him. I've got Bradley, who doesn't play. He's got the League Cup final. So I am going to play with 10 men this game week. I brought Saka back in. Awful move getting rid of him for Jota. That was just an awful move. Probably the swing was about 19 points, which was the difference between being ranked 193k at the moment, and I think I would have been about 80k. It's about 100k swing. It's ridiculous. And then got Garnacho, 6 points expected at home to Fulham. I'd love for him to come out and grab one of his home double-digit hauls. No Højlund though, but yeah, since I've had him, he's got me an assist. He got me the 2 goals against West Ham, although I did bench him that day for Saka. So Saka's done me pretty bad. But I brought Saka in, as I just mentioned, for Jota this week. Foden, 7.8 points expected. Kevin De Bruyne, 4.6 points expected as well. And then we'll go into my front 3. So captains are Mount and Haaland, 13.6 points expected. Watkins, which is FPL Ambrose's captain, he just mentioned in the comments, he's got 10 expected points this week. So that's pretty good. Solanke, 5.5 expected points at home to Man City. And then my bench, only Dubravka is the only playing player at the moment on my bench. So let me know in the comments who you would play in goal between Dubravka and Areola. I've gone with Areola. I'm trying to zoom this team out a little bit more so you can see the full squad. But anyway, that looks pretty good. So yeah, 10 men. Let me know as well in the comments. Do you think I should take a hit and play with 11 men? Because people are saying 11 men is like a -2 this week if you take a hit. But I'm just looking at thinking, if I bring Gabriel in for Virgil van Dijk, I already took a hit last week. Then what I'm looking at is if Newcastle score and Gabriel doesn't score one of his annoying headers that he's been scoring, then if he ends up with 2 points or 1 point, I'm not really winning. Although I would play Gabriel next week against Sheffield United, but I'd also play Virgil van Dijk against Forest next week. So and back Liverpool to potentially get a clean sheet in that. So yeah, it's not selling myself on a hit. I think I'll just suck up and play with 10 men. FPL Pulisic has got 2 transfers. Dubravka is his keeper, and you can see his team there on screen. Who should I use? We're looking at that team. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It looks like most of your team plays other than Darwin and Richarlison. I'd probably swap out like Pedro Porro probably for someone like Nori from Wolves, and then Darwin for Ivan Toney. Or you could go Richarlison for Hwang or Neto, and then Darwin for Toney. That's what I would do, mate. I think you got a lot of good options with 2 transfers there. Also, if you have just tuned in, please come onto YouTube, ask some questions, hit that like button as well. The more likes, the better. And also subscribe if you're new. And follow and like and subscribe everyone that comes into the comments as well. Click on their YouTube pages, the likes of FPL Ambrose, FPL Pulisic, FPL Rue as well. Hope you're good, mate. He'll likely be doing a deadline stream tonight as well. So go check out his channel and stream. I'll be finishing up soon. So then go straight to Rue's channel. Yeah, what transfers are you making, mate, tonight or today for your team? Let me know in the comments. Yeah, any other questions, get them in. I'll probably do another 5 or 6 minutes. But that's my team on screen. Erling Haaland is my captain this week. I like the Watkins shout, though. I really like Ambrose's Watkins shout. Yeah, I think it's a strong shout. But I'm liking just going sort of that sort of safety Haaland pick this week, given it's a blank game week. FPL Rue's done Trent and Jota to Gabriel and Douglas Luiz. I don't mind that, mate. You didn't fancy a Wolves player then. But yeah, I like the idea of Luiz because he obviously does tend to just pop up and get the odd pen, and he gets a lot of bonus as well. Yeah, and Gabriel, good pick to get, mate. I couldn't be asked doing a -4 for Gabriel this week. Flip side, I probably should have just had him -4 last week, and then had him this week, and then had him next week. But instead, I went for Van Dijk, who got 10 points. So yeah, technically, I'm up anyway by doing Van Dijk. But then if Gabriel gets a clean sheet this week, I'll be I would have been better off having him, and he might get one against Sheffield United anyway. So yeah, I need Newcastle to score like at least 2 goals, and then Van Dijk to get another goal next week with a clean sheet would be nice. FPL Rue is not free hitting in Game Week 29. He's got a half decent team already. I'm not really sure where my team's going to be at this point, to be honest. Obviously, I'll wait and see how it goes with these FA Cup games in the week and how the fixtures look, and then I'll work it out from there. But my preference is not to free hit. But if I have to, I have to. I don't want to get in a position like I did last season where I use all my chips really late on and I didn't get any benefit. Like I think I wildcarded in 35 or something, and it just did not work. Previous years, I've always wildcarded kind of this time, sometimes a couple of game weeks before, and I've always done really, really well. So, yeah, at the moment, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that strategy. So, yeah, already burnt the triple captain last week in Haaland, which I wasn't too disappointed with. Ambrose just mentioned to Pulisic. What about Darwin to Watkins? Yeah, that's a good shout, actually. And Porro to Torres, load up in Villa to cover you. So, yeah, if you look ahead to game week 29, then I think that's some really good options as well. I like that. If we go to game week 29, Aston Villa play West Ham away as well. So, yeah, not a bad, not a bad fixture, that one. Which is why Rue didn't bring in a Wolves player, because they do not play in game week 29 then, by the sounds of it. Although Wolves versus Bournemouth, well, they could play. I think we were saying if Wolves lose to Brighton and Bournemouth lose to Leicester in the FA Cup, which there is a possibility. Leicester are doing pretty well, and Brighton are Brighton. So, yeah, you never know. But I guess, yeah, it is a bit of a gamble. It's tough, though. Like, I like to play ahead, and I've always been someone that likes to play ahead. But I feel with FPL now, because so many people just make the same transfers and the same moves, kind of thinking like, just play what you can sort of see in front of you. But yeah, everyone's different. Sheffield United are better away from home. They beat Luton a few weeks ago. It's not a bad shout. They did actually win the reverse game against Wolves as well. And like Ambrose says, he believes Wolves are a trap. Oh, Neto or Garnacho. I really like Neto. I think I was saying earlier, if you're going to get Neto in now, he will probably get you consistent returns from now all the way to the end of the season. But I think for his price, I'd get to Garnacho. Home game against Fulham. And then it's followed by Man City, I believe, next week, which is obviously tough. But then Everton home after. If they end up featuring in game week 29, they'd have Sheffield United. But even so, after that, game week 30, Brentford away, and then 31, Chelsea, 32, Liverpool. Do have a tough little period after, but I just think, I'd save that money and go with Garnacho. Yeah, this is tough. I think now what Ambrose was saying before, with Villa playing in blank game week 29, I think Watkins then has got to be the pick, especially because they've got the Forest home game as well. I think, you've got to have him if you don't own him. Although in game week 29, Brentford would have Burnley. So having a look at this, they'd be playing in that game week as well. It's probably an easier game that for Brentford than Villa away at West Ham. And then in 28, Brentford play Arsenal away. Villa play home to Spurs. And then Villa have got Luton away in 27. Brentford play Chelsea. Yeah, I'll go Watkins. I think you got to go Watkins, mate. So if you've got any more questions, get them in now. Give the video a like. Subscribe to the channel if you're new as well. Get any comments in. Give me comments about the game week, your thoughts on the game week, captain picks, differentials, or just general questions. Get them in the comments. I'll stay on for another couple of minutes as well. That's my team on screen, by the way, if anyone's wondering. Welcome to the stream, Cole Casilia, Garnacho, He-Chan. I still prefer He-Chan out of the two if I was on a free hit and I was picking, especially because he's likely on pens. Look, I'll stop sharing screen now. I think everyone's sort of probably had enough of seeing my team. So he's done Darwin to Watkins, and should I transfer Porro or Richarlison? I'd go Porro, mate, because he's injured. he did actually come out himself. So someone asked Pedro Porro online, I need to know if you're going to be fit for my FPL team. And he did say, don't transfer me out. But I just think with our like the Spurs defensive record, it's probably not worth holding Porro. I think Richarlison remains the better pick from the two. This is Carl Finn's team on screen as it stands. Definitely don't ditch De Bruyne this week. Pep obviously said his comments about De Bruyne, and which he does, plays mind games all the time, but he didn't play in the week. I think we'll get at least 30 minutes from De Bruyne. He wouldn't travel for this game if he wasn't going to feature in some capacity. He might even just start the game. Someone's already taken a video of the Man City players leaving the bus, and De Bruyne was on it. So, yeah, I would. I'd keep him. I'd keep him for a week, even if you get half an hour out of him on a blank game week like this. You just don't know. He got an assist off the bench against Everton a few weeks ago, and he got a couple of goals off the bench, or a couple of returns off the bench against Newcastle. All right, we will wrap up shortly. We don't have too many more questions coming in or any other watchers coming into the stream. So, as always, I will stay on in case we get something else that comes through about an hour and a half until deadline. Please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new here as well. Just looking at a really depressing stat about when Spurs we last lifted a trophy. All the players that have left and what they've won. Very depressing. Another question's come in from Carl. Have I seen any early team news at all? Well, mate, I get all my early team news off forums or Twitter groups. And yeah, to be honest, I don't know if we're going to get anything at this stage, mate. I think if we're going to get any team news, it'll probably be in that 30 minutes up until deadline for me. Is Nori the best option? I don't mind him, mate. For this home game, he's very attacking. I don't know how many of my watchers saw when Wolves beat Chelsea a few weeks ago, but Nori was unbelievable in that game. He was just so up and down that pitch. Literally lived in Chelsea's penalty box that day. So, yeah, I think he's a great pick for this game week, especially playing at home to Sheffield United. Yeah, I've seen this. I think there's a lot of people assuming Foden will drop to the bench. What I'll do now, I'll go on to Blue Moon. I'll have a little read because Blue Moon is a really good Man City forum. And they tend to have a pretty good perspective as to who they think is actually going to play and not play for Manchester City. So let's have a look now. Yeah, I think because he's played a lot of minutes, people are just assuming that it's time for Foden to not play. And that could be the case. They could bring De Bruyne in, and then Foden goes onto the bench today. And it could be that. Hope not, because I really want Foden to get the minutes because he's in my team. So, according to Blue Moon, some of their latest comments and posts and thoughts. Let's have a look. Okay. No early team news on their forum. for City. A lot of their team predictions have got Bernardo, De Bruyne, Foden, Doku in the midfield. I don't think City can really afford to make too many changes with Liverpool sort of on their heels, obviously top of the league at the moment. I don't think it'd be in City's best interest to sort of change things up too much. So fingers crossed Foden does play. Lexic, hope you're well, mate. It's been a while since I did stream last week, but before that I did have a few weeks off. I've been away. So it's great to have a lot of the regulars back in the comments. FPL Conj 108, hope you're good, mate. I love how you're replying from your Twitter account and also your YouTube account. If you actually want to, if you scroll back through this video, if it lets you scroll back through, or even when I finish this live, because I'll finish this live before deadline, I actually answered a bunch of questions from the Twitter thread. If you fancy watching it, although I don't think there was one from you this time because I answered yours on the post anyway, or when you messaged me. So all good there, mate. But yeah, unless any other questions come up, we'll probably look to wrap up pretty soon. FPL Rouge streaming at the moment as well, so always head to his channel and ask him some questions if you need to. Another great FPL account is FPL Rouge. Question from Lexic: do I think Ake will start? Yeah, I think he starts this one, mate, against his old club. I think he'll be on the team sheet. But look, we'll look to wrap it up. Not too many other questions are coming in. We're about an hour and a half until deadline as well. I just wanted to come into the stream tonight and answer everyone's questions. Please give the video a like. Subscribe to the channel if this was your first time watching. Conjure saying he'll scroll back and watch. Thanks for the tips anytime, mate. Thanks to everyone that tuned in tonight. It's only a quick stream tonight. There will be plenty of videos before next week's deadline as well. I'll have a Your Questions Answered video. Likely do a wildcard free hit type of video for next week. And a team selection video as well. Any last minute questions, I'll do a quick last 30 seconds. See if any other questions come in. Otherwise, I'll look to end the stream. It doesn't look like we're going to get too many other questions. We've got one did come in from Conj. Neto for Areola. The Bournemouth keeper. I know he's got a double game week. I don't think it's critical, mate. I think what we should do is for next game week, we'll put that question. I want to do the Your Questions Answered thread. Put that question on there, mate, because I think it'll be easier for us to answer that prior to next game week, I think. Q, welcome to the stream, mate. I was actually just speaking about you on here earlier, saying that we'll probably get you on the next stream because you're obviously on it last week. Hope you're good, mate. Gabriel or Pau. I like the next couple of games with Gabriel, but I think FPL Ambrose made a great point earlier that you get blank game week 29 guaranteed out of Aston Villa at the moment, by the sounds of it. Let's see who Arsenal are going to play that game. Yeah, I'd probably say, because you expect Chelsea to go through in the Cup in the week. So I'd probably say Pau Torres. Good luck to you as well, mate. Thanks for the comment. Diamantis, hope you have a great game week, mate. He's in my team, mate. He's in my team because I've got no one else to play. So yeah, he's actually currently in my team. I don't want him long term though. I've been saying that for ages. I've been trying to get rid of him for ages, but Villa are going to start getting players back. So he's just someone to play this game week. Foden or Haaland captain? We were saying this before, actually. Foden's got this great record against Bournemouth. I guess it's if you think he's definitely going to start, I was also saying though, like with Liverpool winning in the week, like City have to play their best available 11 that they feel is obviously going to win the game, and that you'd think that includes Foden. So I don't think he gets 90 minutes this time, but yeah, I feel like with the chances he missed the other night against Brentford, he kind of owes us a haul, and I think he's due another haul. So I think there's a good captain option in Foden, but does he edge Haaland? No, I think Haaland's the captain option. I wouldn't buy him at cash. I think he is a good option for this game week, but yeah, if you're going to go Villa, I think Pau Torres is a lot safer. If you're new to the stream and you've just tuned in, because we've got quite a few new viewers in, which is awesome, please subscribe to the channel. So if you're watching on Twitch, come onto YouTube and subscribe, or just follow on Twitch or Twitter, wherever you've come from. Give the video a like as well, and get any questions or comments in. I was supposed to leave the stream. I've said this about 5 times now, and questions just keep coming in. So he's going to captain Watkins. I've got a feeling he'll haul. I've got Haaland and Saka. We've had a few people say they want to captain Watkins, mate, so it's actually not a bad choice. Let's see if we've got any other team news that is going to come in. It's late here. It's very late here in Australia doing the stream. Very tired. Late deadline tonight. I don't think we're going to get any team news until probably at least an hour or so. Yeah, you're so unlucky to get Højlund injured, mate, but you've had some good returns out of him. I wouldn't say you're crazy, but I don't think you're going to get the sort of score that Højlund would have. I honestly think Højlund would have grabbed another 2 goals in this game, and he's coming out with like 13 points again. Rashford, though, like, yeah, maybe there's a ceiling there, like 7 to 8 points, which I guess you'll take, mate, to be fair. So, yeah, you know what? Like, it's a blank game week. I actually don't mind it. Yeah, mate, I'd definitely buy Solanke next week if he's obviously fit and doesn't get injured in this game week. He doubles in 28 as well. And he's got the Burnley game next week. So, definitely worth signing Solanke or keeping hold of Solanke if you own him. Starting to get some good views in now, just as I was going to wrap up. So again, I'll give it another few seconds, see if we get any more questions in, and if they keep coming in, we will stay on the stream. Also, let me know in the comments if you think I should take a hit to get 11 players on the pitch, or if playing with 10 is fine. I'll show my team again for those that have just tuned in now. I'll go back and show you my side. So 10 men right now for me. Bradley doesn't play. None of my bench players play. So this was the problem. If you heard of my points last week, I brought in Van Dijk. He got 10 points instead of Gabriel. But by taking the hit to bring in Virgil, it gained me 6 points. Whereas if I brought in Gabriel, I would have gained 2 points because he got a clean sheet. So I got 4 extra points by doing Virgil van Dijk. But this week, if Gabriel keeps a clean sheet, I would have benefited doing Gabriel last week as well. That's why I really need Newcastle to score. And then next week, I need Virgil to keep a clean sheet against Nottingham Forest. But yeah, let me know if you think I should should go with a -4 and 11, or if I should just keep the 10 men. And hope that Foden and Garnacho get some nice hauls. That would be awesome. Keep Gordon, mate. If he's fit to play, I'll definitely keep him for this game because, again, blank game week, playing centre forward likely for Newcastle. Isaac's only just come back into training. And if we have a look at Gordon, 8 points in the last game week, 2 the game week before, and 4 the game week before. only won the game week before, but 7-5. So he's returned 1, 2, 3, 4 times in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. It's pretty impressive. Wolves home, Chelsea away, Palace away, West Ham home, Everton home, Fulham away. Some pretty good fixtures on paper, mate. So I'd probably keep him for now. Current rank, I believe, is 193k. 193k. Which, look, with the run in from now to the end of the season, there's potential to probably sneak into that top 50 if I can get my chips right, like my wild card. I was saying earlier on in the stream though, mate, it's disappointing because I did the Saka Jota move, which I was never going to do. And I did it. And by doing it, it cost me 19 points. And that 19-point swing is the difference between 193k and I think about 80k. So yeah, it's really disappointing, but you can't get it right every week. And I definitely would like a higher rank at the moment, but it's all about enjoying the game, I guess. If you've just joined the YouTube, by the way, please subscribe, hit the like button. I like Moreno as well, mate. I think he's a good pick. Digne is on the way back, so hopefully there's no rotation, but he looks to be the in-favour player. He's got an eye for goal, cheap price as well. So I like him. I like him, mate. Good move. All right, look, we'll look to wrap up now then. It doesn't look like any more questions are going to come in. We've had some good views tonight, considering it was quite a late stream. So thanks to everyone that is tuned in. If you do ask a question now, be very quick, and I'll quickly answer it. I'll stop sharing screen in the meantime. It looks like there's plenty of other FPL streams going on YouTube right now as well. So go check out FPL Roo. After this, I think there's also football chat box. There's quite a few other streams that are going to stream from now a little bit closer to deadline. Go and check out those streams as well. They might have a little bit more team news. For me, it's going to be too late here in Australia. But yeah, good luck. Good luck to everyone. Hope you're well as well. Martin Watchhorn, this is Wrestling Film. Hope you've been well, mate. We've just finished the stream now, so time to log off. Good luck for the game week, mate. Good luck, everyone, for this game week. Thanks to everyone that's tuned in. Give this stream a like if you've just joined. Subscribe if you're new here as well. And I will see you all in the next one. And the later deadline, mate. I've actually got a couple of friends at that event, and so where that is in Perth. I was in Perth 2 weeks ago. So a lot of my family. I used to live there before Melbourne, and that wrestling over there looks brilliant, mate. Like everyone's having such a good time. So I can only imagine it's a great event to go to, and obviously I'm assuming you'll be watching it on TV over in England. But yeah, it looks like they're doing a really good job of it over there, mate. And cracking event. So enjoy watching that. It's nice to have a later deadline, like you said. But look, bye for now, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Good luck for the game week. I'm FPLMattDay, and I will see you all in the next one.